Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy. How much gas does your car take to start?
Oh, interesting. Hey, what's a shish kebab really mean?
This is season 7 of Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
We scour the internet and other sources to gather totally useless information just for you.
Plus, we answer your emails and the headline from news from around the world. Yes, a Florida man was asked to hold his hot dogs.
Totally useless information. It's everything you never needed to know.
Nick,
Yes?
it's a new season and we have Leanne on, and you had to start right away with holding hot dogs.
Well,
Of course
well,
he
before
did.
we get to Leanne Phillipson,
Your weekly sweet and savory facts of totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Come and get it!
yes, we do have a very special guest today. Welcome to season 7, everyone. Thank you all for your support and your dedication to totally useless information with Nick and Roy.
Yeah, seven seasons, amazing, 130 something shows, incredible, 65 different countries. And guess who we got back on the show?
And because we have a very special guest, we cleaned up the studio. We replaced the candy dish with a bowl of fresh peaches and grapes. Hey, welcome, Leanne Phillipson.
Oh, thanks so much for having me on. Congratulations on yet another season. Holy smokes, you guys are on fire.
It
This
is.
just proves when you're as famous as Nick and I,
Yeah.
you get the good guests like Leanne,
Yeah.
who's an amazing nutritionist.
She is, according to her website, because I did some research, Leanne is a registered nutritionist, best-selling author, engaging speaker, and nutrition expert featured weekly on Toronto's News Talk 1010 Radio, which is part of the iHeartRadio Talk Network, which is what we're on as well. So she's part of our family. She's an approachable and sought-after media contributor and a go-to for nutrition quotes, interviews, ideas, tips, and articles. But we have her on not because of all of that, because she's our friend. So welcome, Leanne. We really do appreciate it.
We have her on because she put me on the seafood diet. Leanne said, any food you see, you eat.
Nice try. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys.
So
I
what-
do.
tell-
My cheeks end up hurting at the end of our chat because I'm laughing so much.
Listen, laugh, and learn, which is what we talk about here on the show. And so, Leanne, what's going on in food? Like, what's some of the funnier stuff that you've come across lately?
Oh, there's some really interesting, I guess you could almost call them trends in a
Uh-oh.
way.
Trend.
And something that I came across at my local market. So I go to a local market every single week and I buy all my beautiful greens and everything that's in season, talk to the local farmers. And then there was this one vendor and he has freeze-dried everything. Like strawberries, apples, watermelon, and really like freeze-dried foods were developed so that they could seriously go to the moon and reduce the weight of the food that they're taking with them, right? So you take out the water and the oxygen that's normally found. And this was like 1960s, I think this was. They started with ice cream. And we got sucked in. My daughter wanted to try it. So we picked him up and tried it. And I was like, ugh, when you can't get something out of your mouth fast enough, you're like, pah, 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 pah.
Yeah.
It was such a bizarre taste, but they've also turned baby snacks into this freeze-dried stuff. So when it kind of hits your tongue, then it starts to like disintegrate and just gives you some sort of flavor. It's a
I was
really
actually talking
bizarre
to somebody about the freeze-dried stuff, and they said the problem with it is they put sulfur on it.
thing.
And you have to get freeze-dried stuff that has no sulfur. It has to be completely naturally freeze-dried, because if it has sulfur, it's really bad for you.
Well, it's the same thing with like dried apricots. When you go buy dried apricots and they're orange, they've been sulfured because really when they dry, they should be brown. So that's like a Turkish apricot.
Yeah.
People who have asthma and sort of breathing conditions, they sometimes really get triggered by something like what you're
They
talking
turn
about.
orange. I believe that's what Donald Trump used to put in his hair.
There you go. That's it. Right there. Freeze with Sulfurt.
So how long does the process take to freeze dry? Let's say a bunch of strawberries. Like, is there?
I didn't even ask.
You know, I have a
Try this. I said,
dehydrator.
okay.
I have a dehydrator.
That's different.
Yes. Yeah,
That's
it is.
different. A
right.
dehydrator is awesome, rock star. You're
Yeah.
gonna, slowly at a really low temperature.
But you know how long it takes to do like
days.
raisins and bananas? You just keep leaving them there just like forever. You can make jerky quick, but like a few
Right.
hours, maybe 4 hours or so. But bananas took like almost a whole day, and they were all right. They weren't great.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to try these things out with food, but yeah, you got to know that you're not.
Yeah, it's fun sitting there and watching, just like watching paint dry. It's like watching the fruit dehydrate in front of your very eyes. How
I
much
was
fun-
hungry when I started, but then
Yeah,
I ate like
exactly.
3 meals in between. So
That's right. Exactly. Are you a fan of shish kebabs, Leanne?
I do quite like a shish kebab.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you are these like shish kebabs that you would barbecue, like put some meats on it, or
Yes.
purely vegetables? So what would a Leanne Phillipson shish kebab look like?
I just had some a couple of weeks ago that had a bunch of peppers, onions, and shrimp that were folded differently. Like, I kind of looked at it as I took it off the shish kebab and thought, that looks really cool. How did you do that? So I think rather than putting it through kind of as it laid flat, they folded it in half and then stuck it through. It was awesome and so incredibly tasty. I love shrimp with anything. So
I don't want you to be offended in any way by what I'm about to say, Leanne, but when I do shish kebabs, I rub my meat.
yes.
I pause.
Wow. Yeah.
I rub my meat with cumin, and I rub it with ginger
Yep.
and some curry powder.
Oh,
And I let
beautiful.
that sit overnight. Yeah. And I let it soak in a little bit of coconut milk.
Oh.
And then the next day, I make the shish kebab out of that. And it's great with chicken because the chicken soaks up all that good flavor.
Oh,
Mhm.
that sounds good.
Well,
It is
Wow, I love
good.
it.
the reason why I bring it up is because I found out in my totally useless world that I'm in is that the word shish kebab is a Turkish word. It means sword or skewer. And it was the medieval soldiers who used their swords to grill meat over open field fires.
Oh, makes sense. They stuck the meat on their sword to put it over the fire.
Exactly.
Wow.
And so in Turkey, shish kebab does not really normally contain vegetables because they may be cooked on a separate skewer. But I guess here in North America, they combine all of the meats and the vegetables. But apparently, I think Roy, for those of you who don't know, Roy is a trained chef with papers and everything. He has his papers. Show me your papers.
Yeah, they put the papers on the floor in the bathroom like for a puppy.
That's right. He's a paper trained chef. So you were telling. So apparently you know a little bit more about shish kebabs in terms of how to assemble a shish kebab. You just can't throw anything there randomly. A
lot of times people mess up with the shish kebab. They use the wooden skewer. They put it on the grill, and the skewer falls apart. What you need to do is put the slower cooking items in the center, and put the quicker cooking items on the outside, like the tomato and stuff like that. And then you place those items on the outside and you cover them with tin foil and keep the meat very tight in the center and cook the meat so that the shish kebab skewer doesn't burn away. And then at the end, you take off the tin foil and you get the nice char on the vegetables and they got a little bit of a snap to them. And then you take that chicken off and it's got that curry, cumin, ginger flavor coming off of it. It's wonderful.
Boy,
It's good.
you're not getting hungry now. I don't know what is. You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Our very special guest is a registered nutritionist, Leanne Phillipson, our friend. You know, we had a lot of fun a few months ago. She came over to our Christmas party. And if I remember correctly, it was-
Nick, don't discuss what happens at the Christmas party here
Well,
online.
but she brought over this dish apparently that it's like eating out of a skull or something. What was that? What was that? It was something like
Does this Christmas party have anything to do with holding the hot dogs? The news?
No,
at the
no,
end
no.
of the thing?
That's coming up in news from around
Not
the world
you,
later in the
Leanne,
show.
Not you. I'm talking
No.
about Nick.
No. Speaking of,
Believe me, Nick can hold his own hot dog.
well, now just because you're a registered nutritionist doesn't mean that you don't indulge in richer foods. Like your diet isn't berries and nuts or anything like that. Like you indulge every once in a while, right? There's a true confession.
Yeah. And I have a really big question for you after this. Go ahead.
Okay, I don't indulge in hot dogs.
Okay.
So I won't be a part of that conversation other than to say everybody gets to choose what they put in their mouth,
Okay.
as I talk about on my podcast. So, so no, I don't, because I don't enjoy them, and I'm kind of scared about what's in them, but that's okay. But really, the majority of my diet is quite healthy. But I do love, like, probably my biggest vice is crisps. And I say crisps because I like British crisps better than I do North American chips. Because they just don't, I don't know, they just taste different. And I lived in England for a while, and they know how to do their crisps.
Oh, see, so now she said the word crisps. So here's a question I have for you. What type of oil? Because I only use avocado oil, which is super expensive.
Yeah.
But there is avocado oil. And then also, second part to the question, do you know about seaweed oil?
Oh, I have not heard of seaweed oil.
So go ahead. What type of oil do you like to use? And then I'll tell you about seaweed oil.
So extra virgin olive oil, organic. I always use that in any salad dressing, drizzling, anything like that, or just to dip some beautiful bread and vinegar with herbs and spices in.
It makes it sound sexy.
I know.
Yeah.
So
drizzle
yummy.
that olive oil all over me. Yeah, okay.
It's like
sure.
first I take a naked piece of bread and I drizzle it with olive oil. I bathe it in it and run it through it.
Roy will turn anything into a naughty duck conversation. You know, like
I'm
What do
gonna
you
finish
find?
their oil thing. What I fry in? Well, first of all, I don't really fry, but if I use the frying pan or anything like that, it's always coconut oil, or grass-fed butter. Like I've got a
ghee.
thing about mushrooms right now. I learned how much it supports your microbiome, which are your good bugs in your belly. And every week at this market, not the dehydrated or the freeze-dried guy, I go over to the mushroom guy now instead. I buy like 4 or 5.
He's the guy wearing the tie-dye t-shirt.
Yeah, different kinds of mushrooms, and I
He's
fry
like,
them.
hey, Leanne, what's happening?
Yeah,
Buy
yeah.
some mushrooms?
go on.
Yeah, and then I fry them all up in butter.
Okay, very quickly. Seaweed oil.
Yeah, tell me about that. What's
Super
that all
high
about?
temp. Super
Yeah,
high
yeah.
temp. Oh, great saturated fats, things like that. Really great. It is probably the world's greatest oil, but it's so hard to get and it's super expensive. It's like
Right.
$30 for a small little thing of it.
Right.
But seaweed oil is going to become something once they figure out how to process it properly.
Right.
You know, but
And not
again,
kill it like they did with the
exactly. Like
vegetable
I only
oil.
get the cold pressed avocado oil, which I love. But let me tell you about hot dogs. There is a grass fed, non GMO, grass fed, completely uncured, natural skin hot dog on the market that is actually gluten free. All it has is meat, some garlic, some vinegar, a couple of those small items, no preservatives, no nothing. And it's a hot dog, and it tastes like a hot dog you would taste. So it's almost decadent, but good for you.
It's not called a sausage, really, or it's a sausage that they just decided to call a
Well,
hot dog.
sometimes I call it my Italian sausage, but
You know,
Nick?
I'm disappointed in you, Roy, because usually you call it a hot Italian sausage, but come on.
the old spicy hot Italian sausage.
So now, since you don't really indulge in any of the fried stuff, so then I won't tell you about the corn dog.
No.
No,
Yeah.
tell
Not
about
my
the corn
thing.
dog. Come on, Nick.
So there was a guy by the name of Stanley S. Jenkins who pioneered a brand new and a brave guy that he was, a new wiener world in which hot dogs are coddled lovingly in delicious cornmeal
They
batter.
coddle the dogs lovingly.
That's right, in delicious cornmeal batter and
He's
bathe
disgusting, Leanne.
and
He is disgusting.
Come on. Okay, I could read this two ways. Okay, I'll do it this way, right? So, hot dogs are coddled lovingly in delicious cornmeal batter, then bathed in hot oil, a treatment benefiting culinary royalty. Or we could read it this way. Hot dogs are coddled lovingly in delicious cornmeal batter, then bathed in hot oil, a treatment.
Or-
Yes.
Nick, you could read it this way. The guy ran out of buns, took some cornmeal, slapped it on the hot dog, and threw it in the fryer.
You may
Then the
laugh.
corn dog.
You may
was
laugh,
born.
but this corn dog, Stanley S. Jenkins, filed a patent with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for an appliance that allows him to impale battered foods with a stick or a handle and deep fry them in oil. So you may laugh, but
Dangerous to me.
Seriously, is this dude got a patent on like the the Mars bar, the butter.
Deep
because
frying?
it's on a
Well,
stick.
maybe the machine, maybe the actual appliance that
The
he
Impaler.
That's right, the Impaler.
Impaler.
We'll call him
Impaler.
Stanley S. Jenkins, the Impaler. So
Got
now
it.
you might think of a corn dog a little differently now after hearing that.
I don't think about corn dogs.
No,
No,
Not big
No.
on them. They're
not
ugly.
really. I'll just think
ugly
about the
gray hot
Impaler,
dogs.
actually,
The
is what I'm
Impaler.
going to think about when people
Yes.
talk about all this deep fried stuff
so
they go for.
Dangerous, Leanne.
Oh, so unhealthy.
so Leanne Phillipson is not only a registered nutritionist, like we mentioned, she's also a host of her very own podcast called Eat
yeah.
This. Tell us about your podcast, Eat This.
Well, we have a laugh a bit like you guys too, talking about all the things to do with food, because food can get to be a bit of a heavy subject at times,
Yeah.
can't it?
Yeah.
And all your health issues, your aches, your pains, your headaches, just all the things that go along with it. So we bring a lot of levity to it. But really, my passion is to educate people, so no matter where they're at on their health journey, that they can be empowered with more knowledge and understanding, because you don't always get the answers from, say, your doctor or the people that you're going to see to help you, which means you got to take charge of your own health.
See, if you listen to Leanne speaking just now, you realize how ridiculous me and Nick really are. we choose to bring people totally useless information.
So she's the complete opposite. So her podcast.
Our listeners heard Leanne for like 8 seconds and they were like blah blah blah.
No, well, but
She's
you,
much too smart for us.
she is. But she continues to come on our show, which we really do appreciate. So Listen, Laugh, and Learn is what we do.
I
So
got something, Nick.
Well, let me just let the people know where to find Leanne Phillipson, which is
Oh,
Eat
wait,
This,
yeah,
her
you got
podcast,
to-
Eat This,
you
which
tell
is
them.
available on the iHeart Talk app, right? On the app, the
This.
iHeartRadio app.
iHeart, really everywhere you get your podcasts.
Exactly.
But make sure that you search for Eat This with Leanne.
Right.
And then I'll pop right up. I'm juggling.
It's a
some
great
oranges.
show, guys. Eat This with Leanne.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, you got to really tune into her show because I love her show.
But did you see the picture she's juggling? What are you juggling there? It's
Oranges.
oranges.
Yes, she's an orange juggler.
Yeah.
Not really. I dropped them all over the floor. It was just a good shot.
Yeah, not to be mistaken with the impaler hitting your juggler.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
I got one good for you guys.
All right.
And this is for you too, Nick. You're gonna love this. Tonic water,
Yeah.
Mm.
quinine, which by the way saved the Panama Canal. Otherwise, it would have never been built because people were getting malaria, and they took the quinine and it stopped the malaria.
Right.
But quinine's an interesting compound. So tonic water has quinine in it. And the quinine, the compound of quinine, when the lights are completely off, glows. It picks up the light and actually has a glowing property to it. So the next time you're drinking a gin and tonic in the dark, you will notice that it glows. It has a slight glow to it because of the quinine.
That's amazing. I like that one.
That's fascinating. I just this morning talked on radio about how to save your liver from all the summertime drinking and things like a gin and tonic, and suggested a gin sonic.
Gin Sonic. That sounds interesting. Sounds futuristic. What's Gin Sonic?
Sounds refreshing.
It does, doesn't it? Well, the concern with the gin and tonic is that not only are you getting the booze, the clear booze is the best way to go, but you got lots of high fructose corn syrup in your tonic water. But otherwise, like, gin and soda doesn't really work. So you actually do some gin, a bit of tonic, and then top it up with soda water. And it's just better on your liver, on your hydration, and it's actually really refreshing. But I wonder if it's still going to glow in the dark.
Probably not.
Put like a wedge of lime in it, maybe something like
Oh,
that.
for sure.
So take the tonic bottle and sit it next to the two of you. It's very romantic.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a candlelit dinner; it's a tonic water lit dinner.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
it. There you go.
So Roy and I used to work in a restaurant. Roy's father owned the restaurant for many years, and I was a waiter there. So here's my next question: what is a dumb waiter?
Nick?
No, not me.
Your picture's there.
Listen. So dumbwaiter is used to bring up food from a restaurant to kitchens below, and also to take dirty dishes back down in the dining room. It's hidden an essential service in almost every mansion, cafe, and restaurant. Maybe if you've seen one of those old-time movies where you see like a dumbwaiter in that situation. So this lifting device has been used for thousands of years, Leanne. The first recorded use dates back to around 200 BC during the age of the Romans. Yes, an architect described installing a dumbwaiter to allow the movement of goods. Now, why do they call it a dumbwaiter? It has nothing to do with me, really. The term's origins are simply that this lift was a way of having your own silent waiter, not seen and not heard dumbwaiter.
Oh, okay, that makes much more sense.
It does. I mean, it's kind of interesting how way back then, like 200
Yeah.
BC, they thought of something like this. Crazy.
And I think if anyone ever goes and finds one, the first thing they think of is, can I fit in there?
I'm sure
And go for a ride.
I'm sure if we've interviewed a few firefighters along the way, I'm sure they've had many a call for persons stuck in a dumbwaiter. They put the dumb in dumbwaiter in that situation.
That's more where it was coming from, I thought. Yeah, for sure.
You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Leanne Phillipson, our friend and registered nutritionist, is on our show once again. Really thrilled to have you. And Leanne, how can people get in touch with you?
You can search for Eat This with Leanne to listen to my podcast that goes out every single week. You'll find all the show notes and information on leannephillipson.com. And also, I've got a great line of supplements. I've got my award-winning book and so much more information about the radio that I do over on sproutright.com.
So leannephillipson.com and sproutright.com. So what
You need to go on, folks. You need to listen to Leanne's show. It's awesome.
After you finish listening to our show here, then you
Yes,
go
of
to
course.
Eat This with Leanne. Look that up.
Nah, you can go right over to Leanne. No.
Okay, no, go ahead. We'll wait. We'll wait for you.
You know what? There's just, you got to laugh, which is an excellent medicine, but then you got to go learn the stuff about what you put in your mouth. So
That's
it's
true.
good.
Well, the expression "you are what you eat," right? I mean, that's really important. So, what are the fun food stuff that have you come across in the last little while here, Leanne? You can share with us.
Oh gosh, what else has kind of got me scratching my head? Oh, I know. Bacon, everything. Bacon in everything.
Yeah.
Bacon like covered in chocolate.
Oh.
A bacon martini.
What?
A bacon on top of donuts.
Oh my God.
Bacon flavored mayonnaise.
Bacon on anything.
Bacon flavored vodka even.
Love
I mean,
it.
I get the loving bacon, but can we just leave it at bacon?
No, bacon. I like bacon. Bacon vodka is fantastic because think about it. It has a smoky property, almost like a bourbon.
So they're
Okay.
just really marketing it as
You're not
bacon
into
flavor
the
when it's
bacon
just
everything?
smoky. No, I don't mind. I don't mind it. Bacon's great. I don't have it too much, but just kind of getting in everything just gets a little much maybe.
We have a bacon festival down here.
Really?
I
Really?
swear they do exactly what you were just saying. Bacon in everything. Bacon. It's literally a bacon festival. People make pigs of themselves.
Well, so wait a
I'll
minute.
tell you, I can't go there because I'm such a hog.
He goes on his motorcycle. So, do they serve eggs at this bacon festival? No, they
Egg?
probably don't. They don't serve eggs.
No, bacon and eggs. No, that's too common, Nick. Come on now. Have a little imagination, Nick.
Just bacon everything.
Exactly. Well, Leanne, I just can't thank you enough. I think we've really scratched the surface on all kinds of fun stuff with food. I mean, you are what you eat, as we said, and I mean, you can indulge every once in a while. I think it's about moderation, like anything else. So, if there was one thing that anybody can take away from the show today, if any, that is, what is the best way to stay healthy and enjoy yourself at the same time?
The most foundational thing I think that we can do for your health, and it's so not sexy, drink more water. That's it. It gives
Depends
you
how you
energy.
drink it, Leanne. If you're drinking it
Oh, well,
completely
there's that.
nude, it could be
Yes.
sexy.
It could be very sexy.
Yeah,
And you
he
have
would.
some sort of twizzly straw between you and the other person.
Oh,
in
look at
bed
that.
while you're
Yeah,
drinking
good
it.
one.
There
Yeah.
you go.
This
Yeah,
is
Roy,
it.
Roy creates a different waterfall, if you know what I mean. After drinking all that water. So years ago when I
Yeah,
visited,
the prostate isn't what it used to be.
listen, years ago when I went to visit Roy down in Florida, we took a picture. There was in front of our hotel, there was
fountain.
a fountain with a dolphin, right, that's shooting water out of its mouth. And Roy and I positioned ourselves right in front of the dolphin where you couldn't see the dolphin, and all you thought was when you took the picture, there was this
Yeah.
stream coming out of both of us at the same
And
time.
there should have been a little notation under the picture that said they're acting like 3-year-olds.
Yes, exactly. Acting, my goodness.
Which is way beyond our educational thing.
Right.
So once again, Leanne Phillipson can be found at leannephillipson.com and sproutright.com. Eat This with Leanne is her podcast. It's pretty popular. How many downloads have you gotten since you started this thing?
Way over 200,000 now.
Wow.
Find out
200.
why.
You know what's funny? You know what I got out of this whole segment
What's
with
that?
Leanne?
What's that?
That Nick knows where to buy an impaling machine.
Right, and
There you
deep
go.
fry it. Leanne Phillipson, thank you so much. We are thrilled to have you as part of our first guest ever on Season 7. Thank you for joining us on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Thanks so much for having me. It's always a blast.
Thanks, Leanne.
Bye, Leanne.
You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
This is totally useless vehicle information with Nick, Meet, and Roy. Vroom, vroom.
Boy, she's always full value, isn't she? Leanne Phillipson, leannephillipson.com. Thanks so much. That was a lot of fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like having her on.
Hey, how about...
And it's interesting. I mean, really, you learn a lot of cool stuff from her.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, keep your eyes on the road. Keep your eyes on the road, especially if you drive a Saab. If you play around with the computer system in a Saab, you should be able to uncover a hidden gem. It comes with the game Pong.
What?
So it's like one of those Easter eggs where if you play around with the computer system in a Saab, it'll actually uncover the game Pong.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Do they
safety.
even make Saabs anymore?
They do.
Where? In Sweden?
Probably, but if you have a computer system, don't play. Just don't touch the computer system.
You know, I worked for Saab, right?
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
Scania. Scania was an they built airplanes, and then they came out with Saab. And believe me, they were a sob story. You bought those, you were crying.
Yes. There you go.
The gas gauge.
Yes.
Yeah, the gas gauge. This is very simple stuff. Gas gauge,
Okay, we
right?
use it all
Very
the time.
important.
Yeah, yeah.
They weren't added to cars until 1922. That's 35 years after the first car was made. That's a lot of roadside assistance.
It
Nick.
is. I was going to say a lot of jerry cans.
Imagine they would open up and look inside the gas tank to see how much gas was in there.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
Looks like I got about a half. I think I'll make it.
Yes. Exactly. And then people you
While you're smoking a cigarette. Let me check the gas. Oh.
boom. Yep. I guess no more gas. Yeah. As you're riding along, you see these two people pushing a car. How come? Because we didn't calculate the amount of gas properly.
I'll tell you why, because it's 1921. The gas gauge isn't coming out till next year.
Yeah. Gauge this.
Sons of.
Hey, put that in your tailpipe. Technology has come so far that nearly 80% of Formula One drivers have a coating on their exhaust pipe that was originally designed for nuclear reactors.
Whoa.
80% of Formula One drivers have a coating on their exhaust pipe because it gets really hot, I guess, right? So this was originally designed for nuclear reactors.
Sure, I have underwear like that when I eat beans.
nuclear protected
Boom.
underpants.
You better get out of the way.
You know what? What a great marketing scheme, right? You know, nuclear powered underpants.
Yeah. Nuclear protected underpants.
That's right.
Protect the whole family from
That's
Roy.
right. That's right. From the R bomb, the Roy bomb.
I love this one. In the United States, Nick, this is a sad statement, but a car is stolen every 45 seconds.
Oh.
Hold on a minute. They just stole my car.
So by the time you're finished revealing this fact, a car is stolen in the United States.
One was just stolen.
Oh.
Every 45 seconds, a car is stolen in the United States. In Canada, a car is stolen every Oh, there you go.
There goes another one.
I don't have the stats for Canada. I wish I did.
Well, the thing is that at the time of this recording, and I live in Toronto, Canada. Roy is in Fort Myers. There's been carjackings. So never mind getting, the car stolen out of your driveway. It's quite something. And they arrested some people because it was part of a ring. But yes, you have to really be careful. Make sure you always lock your doors.
I don't understand the terminology of that carjacking. It should be car abduction. Because you're abducting a car. If you were jacking it, the people that were sitting inside would be like, "Hey, stop jacking my car up," and put it on a jack.
That's right.
Just for fun to see their face, the back wheels are spinning.
Exactly. Is your name Jack? Yeah, it works well.
Yeah. How do you like that, there, Mara?
I like that, Jack.
We got you now.
Got you by the four wheels.
If you and your family ever want to roll again, you'll give us $20.
That's right. Steve Jobs, the great Apple pioneer, really. One of the many things that Steve Jobs was famous for was his refusal to put a license plate on the back of his car. It was a Mercedes-Benz SL55 AMG.
Nice car.
But Jobs spotted a loophole in the California DMV regulations. It allows 6 months of grace before a license plate had to be attached to a new car.
So he just keeps getting new license plates.
As a result, the Apple Supremo maintained a rolling 6-month lease on a series of new SL55 AMGs,
Just not to put a license plate on them.
replacing one with another just before the grace period ran out.
Before you said this, you should have been like, weirdo alert, weirdo alert.
Exactly.
Weirdo alert.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That guy's a whack.
Yeah.
Who does that? Because he didn't want to put a license
And
plate
what
on
would
it?
it be? Jobs? Jobs one?
Well, it would have
what-
been like Apple One or Apple I.
Yeah. Or Mac.
Just Apple OI. Apple of my eye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I guess not. Nope.
Rotten to the core.
Yes.
You know, Nick, we talk about cars, right? We have a segment called Cars.
That's right. Yes.
So I said to myself, car. Why do we call it a car?
What a great question.
Right? I mean, car. Where did this come from? And it had to come from 1900 basically on. So it's a new word. Where? Well, we usually get our words from Latin. So they did, again, go to Latin. The word carum, C-A-R-R-U-M, is not you driving Nick with a bottle of rum.
Oh, darn. I thought I was getting excited for nothing.
Although Nick does that often. You'll notice he's the one driving on the wrong side of the road. He thinks he's in England.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's from the Latin word carum. And it's a derived word which means wheeled Celtic war chariot.
Oh,
A Celtic war chariot was called a carum. So thank God we shortened it.
yeah.
Sounds too much like condom.
That's right.
I'm here to buy the carum.
That's right. Which you use in the back seat of that carum. Often.
Is this carum protected?
That's right. Protect your car. Carry a carum.
Protect your carum.
Yeah. But make sure.
Why do we find that funny? Does
I don't
anybody
know.
else have it?
I don't know if they did, but listen, laugh, and learn is what it's quite. We tell people what to do. Listen, laugh, and learn. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the 1920s, moonshine runners from the Prohibition era would often have to outrun the authorities. So what did they do? They upgraded their vehicles while leaving them looking like ordinary, not to attract too much attention. But eventually, they really souped up these cars. So eventually, the runners started getting together with other fellow runners of these cars and making runs together. They would challenge one another and eventually progressed to organized events in the 1930s. And that's how NASCAR got started.
Bunch of drunks.
Yes.
And to this day, that's all they do is drink beer in the stands and wait for a crash.
Well, here's the thing. They just go around in an oval track.
I know who
Around and
wants
around.
to. I'm sorry, guys. I love NASCAR people. I think they're great people.
Yeah.
Because they're super dedicated to a sport.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're going around in a circle. if I'm there, I'm waiting for the crash. That's going to be the exciting part.
Yeah,
for me,
exactly.
right?
And if the crash
I know it's
happens,
cynical and horrible, but I'm waiting for the crash and not hoping that a driver gets hurt.
but if the crash happened a little bit further down, like, oh man, I got the wrong seats again.
I would like NASCAR better if the drivers were radio controlling the cars.
Yes.
That would make it so much more fun, right? They'd be crashing a lot.
That's the
It's
way
like
to do
Rock'em
it.
Sock'em Robots.
Rock'em Sock'em NASCAR.
So, Nick,
Yes.
my teaser.
Mhm.
When you start your car, how much fuel does it take? I thought this is another crazy one because it's so simple. Like when you turn that key, the fuel injection goes on.
Right.
How much fuel does it take to start that car?
Excellent question. I'm intrigued now.
And it's a half ounce of fuel on average, 1/2 ounce of fuel to start your car. You know, that's amazing. It takes human beings 2 cups of coffee, which is 16 ounces.
Yes,
start
to get
that day.
going.
And the car starts on a half an ounce.
So in most modern cars, they have these, automatic stop, like ESS or whatever they call it, right? So basically, what happens is when you're at a red light, the engine stops to save fuel, and it starts up again. So obviously, they would have to redesign some of the starters because if you're starting up the car over and over again, you burn out the starter. So they've redesigned the starters. But so a half an ounce each time that you shut off the engine shuts off at a red light or something. But apparently you save 3% of fuel using that system. So I've heard from many a
don't believe it.
mechanic. No, you
Scares me.
don't.
That thing I hate. I turn it off all the time. The A,
Yeah,
I turn that off.
That's right.
I don't want people to think I'm against the environment because I'm not.
no.
But I don't think that saves anything except wrecks my starter and uses that little battery that they put to start.
That's
There's
right.
2 batteries in your car now.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
You're listening to
Which
Totally.
is more weight, which uses more fuel. But go on.
Yeah, and okay, how about this though? Then how about what do you do with those batteries? Huh? Where will you take them? All right. Okay.
Shoot them in space.
Sure. Exactly. And you know what? The rockets be battery powered.
Send them up Uranus.
Battery powered Uranus. Hey, thank you for joining us. Over 65 countries have decided to jump on board. We're glad you did the same. We also encourage you to go to our website, nickandroy.com. Many fun things to do there, not the least of which are birthday messages.
Oh, the best. Birthday messages are people are going nuts over these birthday messages. It's Nick and I. And again, we do a small show for you for your birthday. And we talk about things that happened on the day that those people were born and some interesting facts about that. It is the greatest gift for someone that has everything. I can't even tell you the emails. I'm going to discuss one today in the mailbag. And the people just are going nuts for this. It's guys, it's like $24. It's the best gift ever. You go to nickandroy.com, you hit on birthdays. It's right up on top on the search bar. You hit on birthdays and you can actually listen to a sample too. So you get an idea of what it is. Do it. You will get the people will call you up and go, that is the most amazing thing ever. So awesome.
The most common comments we get is thank you for allowing us for this unique gift. They really enjoyed it. So nickandroy.com is where you go. And you're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Welcome to the Totally Useless Information Fashion Show.
Ever see those fringes? Usually you'll see them on Native American clothing. But the Native Americans are credited.
Yeah, actually, I do pay attention to them when they're on a dress. I've paid attention to a number of them, the way they sway back and forth.
Yeah, and they mesmerize
We're talking about the fringes now?
Yes, you are. Yes, exactly. They mesmerize you. And Roy's like, Roy, over here. Over here. So the Native Americans are credited as being one of the first to incorporate fringes into their clothing for both decorative and practical purposes. The fringes were crafted in leather or suede and were crafted from strips of cloth and served to reduce textile waste. It is a common practice among Native Americans to not cut away the seams, but instead clip them into fringes. The fringes also served as an excellent repellent against rainwater and natural hazards, including flies and mosquitoes.
Oh, sure. Confuse the flies and mosquitoes.
They also used the cloth from the fringe in case one needed to tie something on the spot.
I will say this, Nick.
Yes.
A lot of fashion is designed off the indigenous people. that lived in North America.
Yes.
A lot of fashion comes from them. The moccasin shoes that we all wear, they call them driving shoes now. They're literally a derivative of what the indigenous people of North America used to wear.
Yep.
The hoop skirt.
Oh,
Nick wears one on the weekends when he goes to clubs.
exactly. And they call me hula hoop for short.
They call him Nick the Hoople.
Yes, they do.
So the hoop skirt
Yeah.
was invented and worn for the first time by Queen Juana of Portugal.
Oh, okay.
The reason it was invented was she wanted to hide her pregnancy.
Oh,
So she had a designer come to the royal whatever mansion and design a skirt that could hide the bulge of her pregnancy. And so the hoop skirt became a thing to wear because she was wearing it and then it caught on, but it was originally worn as a camouflage for her pregnancy. Cool.
the first maternity outfits, huh? The hoop skirt.
Yeah, the hoop skirt.
But to hide it this time. Hey, how about some weird bathing suits? Victorian and Edwardian women wore long, heavy woolen dresses with capped sleeves to swim in, as well as their bloomers and caps and stockings, which sounds like a truly efficient way to drown yourself as quickly as possible. So,
What were they wearing? Like, why not just put some concrete in your pocket?
exactly. Same effect. Woolen dresses, right? Cap sleeves, bloomers, caps, and stockings.
Oh, no. Come on. To go swimming.
Yes.
My God.
So later in the 1920s, thankfully, people experimented with other materials, like wood, by the way. Apparently, they used like strips of wood in order to cover themselves because wood
Well,
floats.
wooden bathing suit sounds pretty good because of the natural buoyancy. So you just
Exactly,
go in the
so
water
they
and
would
lay
float.
backwards.
That's right. They became boats.
Yeah, I was just going to say a wooden bathing suit's called a boat.
Exactly. Row, row, row your boat. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, you got to see some of the bathing suits down here in Florida, folks. First off, you go to Miami, topless is okay.
Okay.
And it's okay. Let me tell you, it's okay.
No, he didn't mean that as like it's okay, like the law allows. It's like hey,
I
it's
didn't mean that
okay.
in a Rodney Dangerfield kind of way, although it did sound like it's okay. I tell you, it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay by me.
But why they don't even just go nude is beyond bizarre because they're not wearing tops and then they have these thong bathing suits on.
Yeah.
Literally, there is just this V type of cover in their frontal area,
Mm-hmm.
and it leaves nothing to be desired.
No, I mean they're wearing
Because
jeans.
everything is desired.
Listen, it's desirable to you, of course. So you see, you this is,
Some guy told me.
of course. Now listen, you this is because you don't understand anything. You see, there must be musicians because they're wearing G strings.
That's right. That's right. And if you get together with a couple of other girls, you might have a full guitar.
That's right. He's Spanish guitar. Yeah. How about
You'll strum across the bottom, so to speak.
wow? There you go. Send your complaints to nickandroy.com.
The oldest item of clothing
Yeah.
ever made,
Yeah.
first and oldest item of clothing, was the loincloth. In fact, I'm wearing one right now.
It's light and breezy on a warm Florida day.
And then I take it off and use it as a slingshot when I'm hunting.
That's right.
It is the oldest item of clothing. The second oldest would be the dress, which Nick is wearing right now.
Yes, I just picked it up from the dry cleaners.
Which he uses as a lure at some bars that he goes to. No, the first isn't loincloth.
Okay,
The
all right,
second
there you go. The
is
loincloth.
actually a dress. So that's amazing because I guess the guys covered up first. But then again, that makes sense because they're out hunting.
Yeah.
And, you're running around in the forest. You wouldn't want to get your testicles snagged by a thorn bush or something. So you put
No.
the loincloth on, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. No one wants
Makes for a better hunting day.
it does. And you get to continue to sing baritone.
And if you don't cinch that loincloth up good, it could be a drag.
Hey, I mentioned dry cleaning. During the Elizabethan period, there was no washing process for silk or satin and similar materials. So what did they do? Well, they would just brush down their used clothes. They would use perfume with orris root, rose powder, then packed them away. Victorian women tended to own 2 or 3 woolen dresses when they weren't wearing them as bathing suits that they wore in rotation. And so they sponged down to remove the stains and replaced once a year when they finally became too grim to be worn in public.
These are stinky people. Well, remember we talked about the wedding? They only bathed once a year.
That's right.
God, it's so disgustingly gross. What the hell happened? The Romans had nice baths. What happened? Did
don't
we
know
take a break from bathing?
We're not sure what happened there, but yes, thank goodness for dry cleaning processes where then you can clean the.
What was the first one called? Like Stanky's Dry Cleaner?
Instead of 1 hour, it's like 1 day dry cleaning.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's terrible. And wool, no less, is sweaty.
Yeah.
Stinky, sweaty wool.
Yeesh.
God, I hate that.
Ugh.
Oh my God. The world's longest wedding dress. Well, the train, really.
Okay.
The dress itself is not really. The train of the wedding dress.
Right.
How long do you think the world's longest? It's the Guinness World Book of Records.
100 feet.
1.85 miles.
Miles?
Long.
What?
Miles.
No.
Miles long, I swear. You know what 1.85 miles is? You're talking about like 10 city blocks.
So if you wanted to talk to the person, that's holding the train at the back of the dress, you'd have to get an Uber just to go there just to talk to them.
Well, you know what's funny? If the bride is 1.85 miles away and the old grandmother was standing on the end of the train, 1.85 miles on the other side, and the bride took a run for it, and the old lady went and fell on her rear end.
Oh, that'd be
The train
hysterical.
was pulled out from under her.
Like when they rip a tablecloth off of a table, right? That kind of
Yeah,
thing. Everything goes flying.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Good. Thank you for that. In ancient Egypt,
No
women
problem, Nick.
totally use this information with Nick and
What
Roy.
I'm here for, Nick.
Oh, thank you.
NickandRoy.com. NickandRoy.com.
nickandroy.com. In ancient Egypt, women wore hats. That's nothing unusual, right? These hats were made from perfumed animal fat.
Hats from fat.
From perfumed animal fat to disguise their body odor.
No, Nick, you're getting me sick.
So the cones of fat would gradually melt as they became warmer, coating the wearer in perfumed.
Stanky fat people running around the block melting candle wax on them.
No, it's animal fat. Okay.
It's so stink.
So imagine they're walking around, it's warm, and this fat would melt and coats the wearer in perfumed oils to disguise the smell of sweat and dirt and unwashed clothes. So imagine
Stinky people.
these are these are perfumed animal fats, and then because look, being covered in lotus scented lard is way better, don't you think?
I don't know.
And I don't want to know.
Just I don't know. I don't know which one's better, Nick. The fat dripping down. So you go to kiss a girl, and it's like, oh my God, it's this fatty face. You got all the stuff
No,
dripping down.
you go to kiss the girl, you go steak again.
Yeah. Ooh, you smell like a lotus. I almost didn't lotus the stench.
You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Do you know
Why?
that Levi jeans,
Uh-huh.
it's the first denim jean product. It was a guy named Levi. He was a Jewish guy. He was like, but I can make this with no. Look, I sold all these things together. Everything's great.
And he sold it wholesale.
Levi jeans were the #1 first jean. They're about what, $30 a pair, I guess. Levi's $30,
Thereabouts,
$40 a pair.
Sure.
Yeah. When they first sold, the first pair sold for $6 worth of gold dust.
Oh,
And the year was 1853. And that's why you have an 1853 Levi's cut. It's the original cut.
there you go.
But anyway, 1853, Mr. Levi sold his first pair of jeans for $6 worth of gold dust. And that was the price because he said, nobody gets the discount. That my cousin Bernie gets a discount. He gets wholesale.
He does. Hey, you get wholesale, totally useless information here. We don't cheap you out on anything. All you have to do is go to our website, nickandroy.com. Lots of great things to do there. Like we said, you could check out our birthday messages there. Check that out. And also you can check out past episodes, the past 6 seasons. We're now in season 7. All kinds of fun stuff.
You know what else they could do, Nick?
What's that?
They can leave us a message.
That's right.
A voice message or a written message.
2 ways for you to get in touch with us. You can leave us a voice message right on the website, or you go to the top at nickandroy.com/contact us.
What's in the mailbag? What's in the mail?
I was looking through the mailbag and I noticed Jake from Napa Valley.
Ah,
That would be California.
Yes.
For those that do not live in the United States, Napa Valley is a place where they make a lot of wine.
beautiful.
Anyway, Jake says, "Thank you so much for making my birthday this year something really special.
Okay.
I received a birthday message from Nick and Roy, and he wrote back to us because he was so taken back by the fact that this was an amazing, amazing gift. He said, I'm a hard person to buy for, and this was just something special. So, Jake, happy birthday, man. A second time. You got the preferential treatment.
Yes, that's right.
But happy birthday the second time. Thank you, folks. If you want to go on nickandroy.com, just click on birthday messages. It's that simple. It's an awesome gift.
nickandroy.com. Hey, my mailbag, Sharon from Windsor, Ontario. And Windsor is one of the cities that, in fact, we have our radio show on the iHeartRadio Talk Network. And all you have to do is click on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen to our show. And she comes to us from Windsor. Dear Nick and Roy, we cannot get enough of your show. We listen to you on your podcast every week when it comes out. And we listen to you on the radio on the weekends on my smart speaker in my house. Very smart. Smart lady to listen to totally useless information. Here's
Yeah,
my...
it's so simple. You just say, like Siri or Alexa, play totally useless information with Nick and Roy, and the newest show will pop right up.
Exactly. She knows what she's doing. Here's my question. Sharon from Windsor says, who invented the cuckoo clock? And when was it invented? I'm thinking of getting one. Well, Sharon, thank you very much. It's a great question. The cuckoo clock was attributed to Franz Anton Ketterer, an esteemed clockmaker.
Nick,
Yes?
can you say this one more time? Say it over again, please. And I'm going to play some background. So
Okay,
go
wait.
ahead.
The cuckoo clock has been attributed to Franz Anton Ketterer, an esteemed clockmaker operating around the 1730s from the Black Forest village of Schönwald, which is, let me guess.
Close to Mannheim, where my grandmother was from.
So this is Germany. So it's the Germans.
And we make the best clocks ticky-tock.
In Schönwald, it's a village where many cuckoo clock makers still operate workshops to this very day. So thanks to Franz Anton Ketterer.
Honestly, my grandmother was from that area, and I had a Black Forest cuckoo clock. I lost it in a fire, but I actually had a Black Forest cuckoo clock. It was amazing, all handmade.
It's beautiful.
And it would go cuckoo, cuckoo, and then this guy would spin around, and this woman in a dindle, they'd spin around, and eventually they'd spin so much that they'd be together, and it looked like they were pressing against each other.
Yes.
But that's another story.
This was kind of cuckoo clock.
Cuckoo.
As I heard on a TV show, it's a cuckoo clock. You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
And now for something completely useless.
So, I was thinking, I saw one of those hourglasses.
Wait, what were you doing?
I was thinking.
I noticed smoke coming from your headphones.
That's right. And the fire department came. They tried to put out the fire. It was amazing. And the
I
animal.
find it very hard to believe that, Nick, you were actually thinking.
So, how much sand is in an hourglass?
Ooh.
So this is an actual hourglass that it takes an hour for the glass to, even though it's called an hourglass.
Very good that you were specific, because
They
the
were-
egg timer hourglass is right.
That's
Very
right,
good.
exactly.
Thank
Right.
you.
This
Thank
is
you.
specifically to an hour, to a true hourglass.
Very interesting.
There
Good.
are approximately 5 million grains of sand in an hourglass.
Wow. And so are the days of our lives.
That's right. And so are the days of useless information.
Another thing my grandmother used to do, days of our lives.
Okay. So now,
Hands in the hourglass.
now you have this look on your face, Roy. You're asking me, Nick, what kind?
do?
Yeah, you do. And what you want to ask is, what kind of sand is used in an hourglass?
Ooh, yes.
So ask me.
And Nick,
Yes,
what kind of sand is used in an hourglass?
I'm glad you asked. White quartz sand, the sand found on sparkling white beaches. It's attractive, but not really used for the hourglass because it's too angular and does not flow smoothly.
Can't use that.
Nope. Marble dust, other rock dust, and rock flour, powder from glass cutting, and round sand grains like those of river sand are best for sand clocks or hourglasses.
Sure, the river sand is more pummeled and circular and it'll flow better.
Exactly. So
There's
five.
one thing you need is a good flow for hourglasses and urination.
Yes.
Or if you're just in a regular country. It depends. If you're
That's
in
right.
a nation or a country.
That's right. You're a nation. Could you imagine? Hey, yeah, and they're always pissed. So there you go. See, now the next time you look at an hourglass, now you know. Hey, today on the show, we talked about food. We had a very special guest and really dear friend, Leanne Phillipson, on the show.
Yeah, she was fun.
We talked about cars. It's time for the news.
And now, from around the corner and around the world, this is TUI News.
A Florida man with hustle, eat, sleep, repeat tattoo was charged with throwing hot dogs at a police officer.
Hot dogs.
Jason Stoll is out on bail, according to online court records, but a Tampa Bay area man was arrested for allegedly throwing a hot dog at an officer who warned him he was violating a city ordinance.
What do you think? He was at a gay bar?
No, that's right. He wanted to throw the hot dogs.
Wieners for everyone.
He threw a hot dog at a pig. Jason Stoll, which is, by the way, is slang for
Oh,
cop.
Nick. He
What?
threw a hot dog at a pig.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, offensive.
No, listen.
Offensive.
According to some slang
Let us salute,
dictionaries.
First responders and service people.
Of course, yes. Without them, they'll just leave me hanging. Yeah, you go ahead. I did not call them a pig. I had nothing to do with that. Now, Jason Stoll, who is 47, is charged with felony battery on a law enforcement
Big
officer.
charge.
It's a
Yeah,
big
that was
charge.
a big hot dog he threw.
It was one of those jumbo franks you get at the ballpark, right?
Yeah, he was Costco footlong. But go ahead.
That's right. He threw a
Maybe he
Costco.
dried them beforehand. They're a little harder. You get to him.
Sure. So he was charged with felony battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting an officer without violence.
Wow, how many did he throw?
Doesn't say. Maybe later on in the story here, but around
Usually there's 8 in a pack.
took him 10 minutes, and then the officer was really ticked off because
But Nick, there's only 6 buns.
That's right.
No, how many buns are there?
it's
8
usually
buns
no.
and
It's
6
10. It's 10 hot dogs in a package and 8 buns in.
Yeah, the
yeah.
buns don't do as much damage. The
They
hot
don't.
dog could get you in the eye.
Exactly.
Or maybe you get one stuck in your ear.
So a St. Petersburg police officer told Stoll he could no longer sell hot dogs in the roadway after his street closure permit ended.
Oh, this is why.
An officer asked him to close up shop, but he
He was
continued.
loaded. He had a lot of hot dogs.
He did because he tried to continue to sell the hot dogs.
Oh, no.
So
This is out of control.
Stoll, the suspect, the perpetrator, became frustrated and threw a hot dog at the officer.
Yeah, because feeding your wiener to a person, you should have a permit.
Well, but not only that, the officer was still in full uniform at the time of the incident.
Oh, no. He should have known better.
That's right.
What did he say to the officer? Would you like one in between the bun?
So, that's right. So this wasn't like an undercover cop or a plainclothes policeman.
No.
This officer was in full uniform at the time of the incident.
Think that he would have given him one free.
That's right.
And a donut.
They do. A hot dog flavored donut. Stoll, who lives in Newport Richey, was booked into the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office.
Oh, this is a Florida thing.
Yeah, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office must be really, really busy.
Very busy. Very busy.
This is not
We have people urinating on each other. We have
urinating
hot
on
dog
cars.
throwers.
If you remember a few weeks back, we had one of the fine citizens of Florida urinating on a cop car. No.
Now, we have some men that dress like women that have known to be hot dog eaters, if you know what I mean.
That's right. And they're vegetarian. So according to some court records, he is out after posting a $2,500 bail.
You can't let this guy near food. If he gets
No.
into a supermarket, goes in the vegetable area, starts whacking people with zucchinis, this is dangerous.
That's right. But not only that, you knew this guy was a derelict because the court records note he has many tattoos, including the phrases hustle, eat, sleep, repeat.
Uh-oh.
And
So he'll do it again.
that's right. And the other
It says
tattoo,
repeat right on his tattoo.
and not only that,
Repeat offender.
he's a repeat of, that's right. He hustle, eat, sleep, repeat offender. That's right. He has to add that. Okay?
Let me tell you something. Yeah, this guy, he's bad news.
And the other tattoo, what doesn't kill me makes me
Hey, maybe
strong.
you could sell him an impaler, Nick.
That's right. Yeah. You see,
So,
so
start putting his tubes on the impaler. Let me tell you, this guy could make some more money that way. Plus, if he throws them at the cop, he stick them right in there. You know, 'cause the impaler is a little sharper. Plus, who the hell doesn't like a nice big meat on a stick? You know, a tubular meat.
listen, he would have been a lot better off if he was selling corn dogs because at least it had a softer landing when it hit the officer.
Could you see the cop talking to the judge? Your Honor, he accosted me with a tubular meat. Just kept hitting me with it in the face.
That's right. What had me really
He
startled,
lashed me with his tubular meat.
and what really got me really upset, Your Honor, is that I started to enjoy it.
Yeah, what really got me upset, Your Honor, is I like kraut and mustard on mine.
It didn't-
Speaking of kraut,
That's right. Yeah. And so apparently, because of the many tattoos, he didn't cut the mustard.
no, but what they do, they arrested him and he loses his hot dog cart.
Well, his permit already ended, which is what started the whole thing. So he can't even sell hot dogs anymore.
There's
so,
very few hot dog carts here in Florida. We don't see them like New York. There are hot dog carts all
Yeah,
over.
everywhere.
Dirty water dogs, right?
yeah, exactly. So anyway,
here,
so
no.
maybe he knows better for next time.
No, down here we sell flying dogs.
Hey, speaking of next time, thank you very much for joining us on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. We will scour the internet, as we always do, and other sources to find more totally useless information just for you.
So tell a friend to make season 7. That's 777. That's amazing. Tell a friend, and thank you guys. Thank you so much in 65 countries now for listening to Totally Useless Information.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy.
Thanks for listening.
Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy is a production of nickandroy.com. Visit nickandroy.com to access the full library of episodes or wherever you get your podcasts.